Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. My name's Laura and today we're doing another pick a card tarot and oracle reading, and this time we are asking what your hidden talents are. So I just want to hype you up because you guys are amazing and I want you to see that. So we are going to ask the universe, your higher self, and just life in general, what your hidden talents are. Take what resonates from this reading, leave anything that doesn't. And I just want to express my gratitude for everybody who is subscribed. If you are not subscribed already, go ahead and hit that button, join the community, okay? So we have group number 1 with the Howlite stone. We have group number 2 with rose calcite. And we have group number 3 with Afghanite. So select whichever one of these groups you feel most drawn to. Some of you guys may feel drawn to more than one group, and that's totally fine. You probably have a lot of hidden talents, okay? Just listen to your intuition when it comes to which group to choose, and I'm sure lots of you may even watch through all 3 groups, and that's totally fine as well. And before we begin, I just want to let you guys know that I am open currently for personal readings. If you are interested in having a one-on-one reading with me, there's many different types of readings I offer on my website, and most of them are guided by your questions and topics anyways, so it's just a really great way to connect, and you don't have to schedule anything. You simply get your reading, ask your questions, or talk about whatever topic you want a reading on, and then I send you your reading in video format within 7 days. So I think it's a pretty cool setup, and my Shamanic life transformation coaching also works the same way, where every single week you get an hour-long reading, same format, and daily email correspondence in between as well if you're interested, plus 10 bonus shamanic tools that you can use to completely transform your life. So those are my main offerings. I also offer homemade intention oils that you use to anoint yourself and really enhance your manifestation prowess. And I have my online tarot reading course if you want to learn how to read tarot like me and even start your own business, spiritual-based business, okay? So those are my current offerings. If you're interested in any of those, I also have my free ebook. All of the links to these things are down below in the description as well as the comments, so go check it out, okay? Let's begin. Group number 1, hi, you guys selected the Howlite stone, one of my favorite stones, honestly. It is just really relaxing, really calming, and it calms the nerves. So I do feel, group number 1, that a lot of you guys are really great at keeping cool, calm, and collected. You are emotionally very intelligent. I can tell just by the fact that you were drawn to the Howlite stone. You're somebody who knows how to return back to center very easily. You're level-headed, and it definitely feels like you oftentimes have more spiritual and emotional awareness than most of the people around you. So that is a talent in and of itself. But let's see. You have protect with the meadowlark. How can I safeguard what is sacred to me? I feel like you have a very protective aura, and you're probably somebody who loves to defend the innocent. A hidden talent that you have is energy work. That's what I'm seeing. And this is a spiritual psychic ability. You can just imagine a protective aura surrounding you, surrounding a person, surrounding a home, a community, a town. And that aura that you create is like concrete. Yes, you are very fiercely, energetically protected. And you may notice this too. Like throughout your life, there may have been a lot of like near misses that occurred for you. Like, I don't know, like let's just say you're driving on the freeway and you almost get into a really bad accident that may have absolutely killed you, but somehow you manage to survive without even getting a scratch. Or like when people are around you, they have this aura of protection. So you may have a lot of stories like that where it's like near misses, like dodging a bullet. You know, you have like crazy amounts of spiritual protection is what I'm seeing here, which makes a lot of sense if you guys selected the Howlite, because you feel like a really good and pure soul. So it would make sense that spiritually you're extremely protected. But I also feel like in past lives of yours, you may have been somebody who has protected. Like you may have been like a personal security bodyguard, like a warrior that would protect your town, your city, your village, etc., etc., or even like a priestess or a strong spiritually powerful person who would do a lot of like spiritual energetic protection work, okay? Cats are very similar, okay? And some of you guys may look at me like I'm crazy, but cats, big cats, domestic cats, they have this aura about them that's like they're the guardians of Earth, protecting Earth from like spiritual otherworldly entities. And I know that sounds nuts, but I swear to God, whenever I connect with cat spirits, that is the vibe they give off. So you guys may have an affinity for cats, or just really relate to them in some ways. But yeah, I love this protect energy here. It definitely, you have a weird knack, a weird hidden ability to keep the people around you quite safe. Absolutely. And also there may be people around you who like, this is going to sound crazy, but like should be dead by now. Like, for example, you may have like a family member, loved one, even a pet, an animal. And again, this story may repeat throughout your life where it's like they have some sort of medical episode and they somehow like totally outlive what the doctors say and they're just doing fine, whatever. Guys, that is your prayers and energy work doing that for them. You understand what I'm saying? Like, you guys are nuts. You are crazy powerful when it comes to energetic protection work. And I also want to say on the flip side, this can be true as well. And you can take a look at any of your exes' lives if they did you dirty, or if there's anyone in your life who really took advantage of you. Specifically when you are trying to work through your anger, resentment, even hatred for them, you may notice that a lot of unlucky things happen in their life, okay? And that sort of goes hand in hand with this natural hidden ability of yours, you know? When you don't like someone or when someone does dirty by you or tries to send you negative energy, oh my God, are they gonna go through it, okay? We have climb. And look at that! I mentioned cats and now you have the bobcat coming out. See, I told you. Climb. How can I go higher? So guys, I think a lot of you who selected group number 1 are very ambitious people. And the family that you grew up in, the hometown that you grew up in, it definitely would have set you up for a certain lifestyle or personality that is totally not where you're at right now, okay? I can only give like personal examples. In my life, a lot of the people who I grew up around, well, first off, a lot of them ended up doing drugs or like teenage pregnancy, or the people who managed to not do those things, I don't know, they ended up like staying sort of stuck where they're at in our hometown. And I don't know, just like repeating the same stories that everyone from that town repeats, working the same jobs, getting in the same type of toxic relationships, et cetera. So the people who have broken out of that are quite extraordinary. And I look to them as amazing sources of light and inspiration because like, for example, I have a friend who, their family, they're all like extremely bad drug addicts, like very, very bad. And like, I'm not even gonna go into detail, but basically this person ended up going through school and getting multiple degrees, having a super high paying job, very passionate about their job and what they do, have a beautiful, healthy relationship. They're married. You know, they have no plans on having any kids. They're just going to live their best life, travel, very wealthy. Like they're really a great person and they really seem to be enjoying life. Totally would not imagine that they come from the family that they come from and the location that they came from. You know what I mean? I feel like you might have a similar story there where you may be like the black sheep of your specific hometown or family, but you had ambition, you had drive. And I feel like a lot of you have really clawed and climbed your way out of certain generational traumas and wounds. You may have really worked hard to get to where you're at, and in order to get to where you're at, you may have had to go through a crazy dark night of the soul, you know, by challenging these institutions in which you were born, these systems and societal expectations in which you were born. You know, for a few years, I want to say minimum, you probably faced a lot of criticism from the people around you. You probably dealt with a lot of like mental health issues in doing that and not feeling supported, but you kept climbing. And now a lot of you guys may, or if you're still in that climb, you're going to find yourself in a elevated position in life compared to most people. And what does that mean? That may mean you may manifest quite a lot of wealth for yourself. You may manifest beautiful, healthy, amazing community and relationships that a lot of people might not have. And I think sometimes we take these things for granted. The other day, somebody reminded me how lucky I was to have so many relationships where people basically express how grateful they are for me and my existence. And you know what? It really was a wake-up call, because I'm like, thank you. Yeah, like, thank you for reminding me of that. So sometimes your blessings, you might forget that they're blessings and you may take them for granted. But the hard work that you do, like you have done some really hard shadow work, and that is really elevating you, or has elevated you and continues to elevate you. Bobcat spirit is within you. You have ambition to be better, do better, and keep continuously evolving yourself. And this is not a trait that everyone has, by the way. Most people, when they are faced with their own personal demons and shadows, they choose to distract themselves from that through negative coping mechanisms such as drinking, partying, chasing relationships, etc., or even like dissociating and just numbing themselves out through TV, through being obsessed with their ex, through fill in the blank, whatever their obsession and addiction is. That's what most people do when they're faced with their inner demons. But you have this hidden talent and ability to have ambition and to keep climbing, which I think is extremely beautiful. And you're just a wonderful person, because very few people have that. And then we have emerge with the Eastern tiger swallowtail. And this says, what am I opening into? And I feel like this is so in alignment with these previous messages, because the butterfly spirit is one of great transformation, and whenever the butterfly spirit comes out in a reading for someone, to me, I just automatically know that that person has gone through massive change and transformation in their life. And you guys may have the hidden talent to hop realities, like literally tap into alternate realities, and you may even feel like the different present moments that are available to you. Like, for example, let's just say years ago, some major event occurred in your life, and you're able to really imagine, like, what if that major event occurred in this way instead of the way it did occur? And you can very, very easily imagine, see, and experience what that alternate reality would have looked like for you. And likewise, I think you are very awake and aware. Most people are quite asleep to the fact that they can actually choose what their reality looks like, and they in fact have chosen what their reality looks like. And I get a lot of arguments on this, especially from people who are still processing trauma and stuff, like, I didn't choose this, what are you talking about? It's okay. Anyways, I think you, group number 1, are very aware of your ability to choose the path that you want to take in life, and you take advantage of that. There's a very conscious energy here. What am I opening into? What experiences? Like, you're aware, for example, that the people around you are the largest contributing factor into your own personality. So if there's somebody around you who's very negative, you're very consciously aware, like, okay, this negative person is around me all the time. This is going to influence me in this way. So what am I going to do about it? You know what I mean? And a lot of people do not have that thought process. You're very intentional about what you're becoming and what you're turning into, and how the energies around you influence you. And like I said, you're a very natural energy reader, energy worker. I feel like a lot of you guys in past lives, as I was saying, were some sort of shaman or priestess, because like you innately have this understanding of how everything is connected. Like, for example, if you're living in a house that is leaky, a mess, you're like, okay, this is negatively impacting my energy for this reason, this reason, this reason. This water leak may be connected to my emotions. I may have an emotional leak somewhere, giving someone a lot of my emotional energy, time, resources, etc. Like, you're aware of how everything is interconnected. And that is something very rare, I want to say, and beautiful. So I'm just intuitively picking cards. We're going to do 4 tarot cards, I guess. This is from the Wildwood Tarot. And you have the 3 of Stones in reverse with creativity. So a lot of you guys, I feel also, as like a hobby, or even a career, like you're just a creator. You're a very creative person. And because this is coming out in reverse, for some of you, maybe your creative talents have not been fully realized and recognized yet, but that is definitely something that is available to you. that recognition. We have the 7 of arrows in reverse with insecurity. Okay, something that you may have noticed throughout your life is that, and this is true for everyone really, your success may trigger insecurities within other people. But there's something about your aura, specifically group number 1, that's very like healing. And so people who connect with you oftentimes are faced with where their greatest shadows meet their greatest potential. So you can really bring out the best or the worst in people. Like you have a very polarizing energy about you, an intensity about you, which is fantastic, by the way. But yeah, that can come with the downside that like sometimes people just, like, I don't think you would do well with like close friends or relationships who are deeply, deeply insecure, because it just wouldn't go well. You know, you're not like a complacent person who's just going to go along with everything. You're very intentional about your actions, your surroundings. And when you're faced with a problem, you want to resolve it, right? And again, that is unlike a lot of people. I was in an argument with someone the other day and they told me, you know, most people would have just like moved on by now, would have just swept this under the rug by now. And I was like, I'm not sweeping anything under the rug. Like we're solving this right here, right now. And I feel like you're the same way, group number 1. We have the 8 of arrows in reverse, struggle. See, this is what I'm saying. A lot of you guys come from these stories, these timelines of insecurity, of struggle. Like you really had to go through a lot of darkness, process, transmute a lot of trauma, a lot of pain, a lot of suffering, a lot of generational wounds and curses in order to step into who you are. Who you are is very grand. Your soul is very, very expansive. And that's the thing about people with expansive, powerful souls. In order to wake up that soul consciousness within them, they oftentimes have to go through a lot of struggle, a lot of challenge. And I am seeing that you guys are no different. But because you went through that, you're able to very, very easily help guide other people through that as well. And you give solid advice. We have the 5 of bows in reverse with empowerment. Wow, all of your cards are in reverse. And to me, this just shows you're a highly introspective person with a very rich inner world. Your imagination is probably another one of your hidden talents and superpowers. And I firmly believe that imagination is not made up. I believe that imagination is a portal that shows us into alternative timelines, allows us to navigate the multiverse, and anything that you imagine in your brain, even if it's like a 3-headed dragon, exists somewhere in this universe. I believe that everything is truth somewhere, and your imagination is your soul's portal to showing you that. I feel like the imagination is another sense that isn't consciously talked about quite a lot, and you can use that imagination to tap into these alternative realities. And so I feel like a lot of you guys have a strong sense of imagination. But that has nothing to do with the empowerment card. I feel like with the empowerment card, there is a strong level of confidence. And you guys, another superpower of yours, another hidden talent, you give the best compliments to people. Like you know exactly what to say to make people feel really good about themselves. Because of how introspective you are. Like you think about the things that people have said to you that really stuck, both good and bad. And using your brain like some sort of algorithm, you're able to come up with the most empowering things to say to people, the most like amazing compliments that people will remember for the rest of their lives, which is just beautiful. You're a beautiful soul. Thank you for existing. Definitely like this video, comment how it resonated down below, and of course subscribe if you have not already. If you want a personal reading with me one-on-one, the link to that is always in the description box, spiritpsychic.org. I also offer my tarot reading course there, shamanic life transformation coaching there, as well as my intention oils. Comment down below how this reading resonated. I want to hear, and hype each other up in the comment section. We are all here to support each other, okay? Thank you guys. Bye-bye. Hello, group number 2, and welcome. You guys selected the rose calcite, which is a very romantic, self-loving, just beautiful stone that really, to me, shows, first off, a lot of you guys probably have a strong physical attraction. Like you're probably very physically beautiful, but I'm also picking up a sort of sensual nature about you, and you have a magic when it comes to the sensual side of life. Like, there's probably a lot of intentionality that you put into things, like how you smell, how your skin feels, how your home looks. Some of you may be into like feng shui, decor, even like having good sense of music and art and things like that. Like, that is a superpower in and of itself. A lot of you guys watching probably are artisans. And even if you aren't, you are an artisan of your aura and your surroundings. Like, you probably, I don't know why I'm getting visions of like a beautiful home, beautiful garden, beautiful physical body, like for real. And that's a superpower, because all of these things play into how you influence the world and the people around you and the people who interact with that. I'm getting nymph energy, which means like your own corner of the world, wherever you may be, is extremely beautiful, and it's a place of healing, it's a place of peace, and you do a lot of good work from your home. I'm seeing a lot of you maybe homebodies, and even if you travel a lot, it's like the aura, the energy you carry is like this. So I love that. We have B with the bison, and even the bison in this card has a beautiful flower in their hair. See, this is what I'm saying, like very beautiful. How can I know myself as absolute? Yes. I think I'm also getting Leo energy from a lot of you. You don't have to be a Leo. You don't have to have Leo in your major like 3 to 5 planets, but I just really feel like there's a strong relationship with self here, which is amazing, by the way. I think society for a period of time has been trying to disempower the individual, and I think it's about time we all wake up and realize just how influential we are, the things that we say to people, the way we show up in the world. You add to the song that is life. And you are a part of Mother Earth. You are a part of this universe, this tapestry of life. And to be able to sing your own authentic song is just so important. And I feel like one of your hidden superpowers is the bravery to be authentically yourself. And that heavily influences the people around you. So some of you guys may even be influencers or entertainers of some sort. Or even just a very influential person amongst your own group, your own community. I'm seeing attention to fashion. I'm seeing attention to, like I just said, there's just the physical side of life. And especially in the spiritual community, I feel like a lot of spiritual people underestimate the power of the lower chakras and having a connection with Mother Earth. I've seen a lot of people get overly in their upper chakras when it comes to like psychic ability and telepathy and just depriving themselves of the physical pleasures of life. Like a lot of Hindu gurus back in the day, for example, they would starve themselves, literally symbolic of removing themselves from Mother Earth and neglecting their physical body. But that does not equate to spiritual power. I think in being balanced and being harmonized and enjoying your physical connection to the world, enjoying good food, enjoying looking good, feeling good, sensual activity, etc., that there's power in that, as well as having spiritual purpose, as well as, telepathy and conversation and thinking heavily and coming up with concepts and literature, etc. You know what I mean? It's like that physical raw element of life is where a lot of magic is derived. And I feel like you are really good at staying balanced. You're really good at being able to navigate these higher levels of thinking, but then knowing when it's time to come home within yourself and just enjoy earthly pleasure, to just lay out in the sun, to just play, to just swim and dance and enjoy food and whatnot. You know what I mean? So I love that for you. We have reflect, and look at all these similar colors here with the pink, with the purple. I love it. The color pink reminds me of the heart chakra, and even you have rose calcite, which is pink too. Wow. This is the great blue heron. What does standing still reveal? See, this is what I'm saying. A lot of you guys may be into meditating, or you just may be somebody who knows how to shut your brain off from time to time. And that is a heckin' superpower, okay? The amount of people I've met who wish they can turn their brain off, oh my gosh. And like just be very present. I feel like you guys are very observational as well. You pick up on a lot of things that other people cannot pick up on. Like when you enter into a new building, you're noticing all of the little details and what they say about the person who takes care of that place. You're noticing how different visual elements may be contributing to a person's inner psychology. You're just noticing everything. You're noticing all of the notes, all of the flavor that life has to offer. Whereas a lot of people, they go through life not noticing. And this is something that you've always been good at. Like you've always been a stop and smell the roses type of person. And nobody had to preach that wisdom on you before you did it. Like that's just who you are. When you're sitting in the sunlight, you're not just sitting in the sun, you are feeling the sun. You are paying attention to the wind on your skin. When you're eating, you're not just eating, you are paying attention to the flavor, and you experience life so profoundly, so deeply as a result. And this is something that a lot of people just aren't present enough for. And you naturally, inherently, and this is something that you may take for granted because this is just who you are, and you may have never realized that this is something very unique and special about you. You're extremely present. And other people walk through life just stuck in their own little worlds. You know, they're on a walk, they're just daydreaming about this and that and this and that and this and that, thinking about whatever, and they're not noticing their surroundings. They're not paying attention to the mural that they're walking by. They're not noticing the beautiful outfit on the person who walks by them. They're not noticing that anxious dog on a leash. They're not, like, you know what I mean? Now, on the flip side, because you're so present, I do wonder at times if any of you have gone through some sort of like nervous system deregulation event, such as a trauma or something, you may have struggled with anxiety at various points in your life. And that's just because you naturally are this more observant person, this more observant individual. And I'm sure like maybe some of your ancestors, for example, were like, they would watch over the village, the tribe, the community. They would protect, somewhat similar to group number 1, but this is a totally different reading. And, you know, I think your superpower is to just really see people for who they are as well. See situations for what they are and just observe and pay attention. And you're also probably very good at listening. Okay, be and reflect. It's like beautiful. Ooh, we have glitter and look more pink. Oh my gosh, I love it. This is the cottonwood. What gift awaits? I feel like you guys are naturally very lucky, and there's something about your personality. I feel like a lot of you guys probably are naturally very funny and charming, and people just want to take care of you and give you gifts and just really support you in any way that they can. And so life may come very easy for you at times. There's something about Venus showing up. Your Venus sign may be very well placed, or you may have a strong relationship with Venus, the sign, or the planet. Oh my God, I always mix up sign and planet when I'm speaking. But yeah, I love that for you. And you know, it just feels like your aura itself glitters and glows, and a lot of people really like being around you because you really see people for who they are. And I feel like a lot of people, even if they're not friends with you, even if they're just people that you met at a party one time and had a little interaction with, you leave a long-lasting impression. And a lot of people daydream about realities where they would have been your friend. They would have put more into the friendship or the connection, because you're just a wonderful person to be around, period. And yeah, I definitely feel like there's this natural sense for the people around you to protect you, to keep you safe at all costs, because you just by existing as you are, you give so much. Kind of like babies and toddlers. You know, when we think of babies and toddlers, they give so much dopamine, like, oh, what a cute baby, you know, like, or if you ever just seen a toddler do literally anything, it's just so adorable. And it just really fills people with joy. Most people, not all people, but you know, I feel like you give off similar vibes and energy. It's just like you fill people with joy. You are such a present being with such an awareness. And also another hidden talent of yours is self-awareness. You have very, very deep self-awareness. Okay, like I really do feel like you're aware of your own patterns and emotions. And, you know, when an emotion pops up for you, you don't just ignore it. Like you sit with that. You allow yourself to sit with that. You allow it to be, and you explore that. Well, what does this mean? And you know your own rhythm more than like 90% of the population probably. And I feel like that self-awareness is such an admirable trait. So that's another hidden talent of yours that you may not realize. So we're going to pull 4 tarot cards just to sort of clarify these messages. And this is from the Wildwood Tarot. Okay. So we have the 2 of Stones with challenge. Very fascinating. I want to see what comes out next to this. The 6 of Stones with exploitation. I think you do inherently have an awareness of the grander issues within the world, within politics, within things like global warming, etc., etc. The ways in which there are massive humanitarian crises going on at this time period. Issues like sexism, racism, exploitation, etc., etc., you may be very aware of those things. And I feel like you have an empathy, an awareness, and an understanding of these greater issues more than the average person. And that is because you're just a good person. And something else I'm picking up on from you is an intelligence. Like, you are not somebody who can just remain blissfully unaware. I just don't think it's in you. I don't think you're that type of person at all. And you're wanting to do your part to not exploit, to not leave this planet worse than when you came. And so you may be very mindful of that. We have the King of Arrows in reverse with the Kingfisher, and we have the Hooded Man, which is the Hermit. And that hermit energy is very reflective, meditative, exactly as we described earlier, just like the great blue heron. They're like one and the same there. Yes, absolutely. You're the type of person who likes to stop and reflect and think. You're a very, very deep thinker, group number 2. And that's yet another hidden talent of yours, the ability to stop, reflect, think, and observe. I'm seeing the hidden man here. He's sort of looking at this bird, almost as if the bird is giving him a message. So you have an ability to pick up on messages from the universe, signs, red flags, green flags. You're able to see it all very, very clearly. With the King of Arrows in reverse, with Kingfisher in reverse, one thing that you may have had to deal with in life is overcoming, dealing with individuals who were much more cold in their communication or much more out of touch with their emotional awareness. And you may have felt like you had to really teach people that, or you may have also have felt like an alien in this life, because it's like, why do I feel like the only person who is emotionally aware and connected? You know what I mean? Very strange. So I think you guys are great. I would totally be your friend. You have a lot of hidden talents and abilities and personality traits that are just amazing, that you need to give yourself a pat on the back for, okay? Thank you so much for joining me. Definitely comment down below how this resonated and subscribe if you've not already. Like this video, and if you want a personal reading with me one-on-one, the link to that is always in the description box, spiritpsychic.org. I also offer my intention oils there, shamanic life coaching sessions there, as well as my online tarot reading course, so check it out. Bye-bye. Hello, group number 3, and welcome. You guys selected the Afghanite stone. This is a sort of unusual piece of Afghanite because it's mostly like this white color, so it's very special, and Afghanite is very great for connecting you with your crown chakra, your third eye, your upper chakras in general, and really connecting you spiritually, making you aware, expanding your consciousness. So I do feel like this is like my psychically aware shamanic sort of group. There's always one in like almost every pick a card reading. I'm like, okay, here's the light worker group. Here are the people changing the planet. So here you are, group number 3. You have Strut coming out with the Killdeer. Am I carrying myself with love? I'm seeing sassiness from a lot of you, an amazing sense of humor. You guys naturally have this sort of confidence, this sense of humor, this sass, hilarious, okay? A lot of personality. You're very animated in your personality. You're not meek at all. You are not a wallflower. If you feel like you are, you're either lying to yourself or maybe you sucked the wrong group, because what I'm seeing here is a lot of personality bundled up into one little tiny human, So I love this for you. And I feel like you inspire a lot of self-love, within the people who interact with you. There's like an intelligence that you have, and you sort of sassily, funnily, is that even a word? With a lot of humor, get people to really love themselves, believe in themselves. You're just a good person, but you don't like have that good person, boring personality. You're like a good person who's cool as heck, you know? So I really like that. We have blow with the wind. How can I deepen trust that my intuition knows the way? You guys, this is what I'm saying. Like, you're my light workers. You're my psychics, shamans, priestesses, etc. Because your intuition is your gift. That's one of your hidden talents. You have an extremely strong intuition. And even when you're navigating like really tricky situations where most people would start panicking, you're very, very calm because you know deep down, like, I'll know the answer. We'll make it through this, you know? It's all fine. We don't need to worry. So I really love that trait. It's a very important one. You have the ability to stay calm in the midst of chaos, especially with the wind spirit coming out. And, you know, these flowers look like echinacea, which are very medicinal. And a lot of you guys may have a lot of soul medicine in your words with the wind spirit, with the air spirit, you know, your communication. This may be a lot of healing that you provide to the planet through the way that you communicate, through some of you guys may be channels for the divine, of course. You know, watching tarot readings, I know obviously a lot of people who watch tarot readings are fellow tarot readers themselves, or just people who are really interested in the shamanic arts and in general. And you definitely offer a lot of healing, a lot of medicine to this planet. And some of you guys may literally be in a healing career, such as like nurse, doctor, dentist, etc., which is, again, another superpower of yours, the ability to caregive at a very high level. Most people can't do that. I know I certainly could never work in the medical field because I would pass out like every day. Oh my gosh. And even just like the hours that y'all be working, it's just crazy. I can't do that. So that's a superpower in and of itself as well. Not to mention some of these like stay-at-home parents, maybe some of you guys watching are stay-at-home parents. Again, another superpower job. I don't know how y'all do it. So like you're just an immaculate human being to begin with. You have like crazy superhuman powers when it comes to work ethic. I don't know where this is even coming from. This work ethic message is not coming from the cards. It's just coming from my intuition. So I definitely feel like a lot of you watching group number 3 are very hardworking. I'm seeing a high level of integrity as well. You always do the right thing. You always preach the right thing. And even if you were offered like $1 million to do something that you were not morally in alignment with and you don't believe in, I don't think you would take the $1 million. You know what I mean? Like, you do what's right because you know that the universe will pay you even more by doing the right thing. We have build coming out with the beaver spirit. What am I integrating? So a lot of you guys are really great at building a beautiful life, a beautiful home, a beautiful body for yourself. You know, where does this message resonate? It'll resonate in different areas for different people watching. Like, for example, some of you guys may be really into like body sculpting, bodybuilding, and that's definitely one way that this can be integrated. Others of you may totally not be into that, but you have an immaculate, beautiful home and family. And you've built that home yourself. Maybe not literally. Well, maybe literally for some of you. But it's like you made it. So I definitely think you guys are natural born creators and builders. And just very talented and innovative when it comes to seeing the potential of things. Like, I'll give you an example. My partner would definitely probably pick this group if he was watching. He find solutions to things that I never would have thought of. Like, totally never would have thought of. Practical solutions, emotional solutions, negotiations, etc., etc. It's just insane. And it really is a superpower. So I definitely feel like you guys are quite similar, like where you can see the potential of something. Like, for example, let's just say you're going through a flea market or a thrift store, right? And you see some like old thing on the shelf and you're like, oh my gosh, I know exactly what to do with this. And the person with you is like, Why are you going to get that hunk of junk? And then you turn it into something completely beautiful. And they're like, oh my gosh, I get the vision. Like, you have vision. You're a visionary. That's what I'm seeing. Group number 3. You are a visionary. And just like the beaver spirits, you build beautiful things in your life. Beautiful relationships, home, like everything. You like building people up. You're not someone who likes destroying things. And some of you guys may have a hoarding tendency because of that, okay? Like, you may have a hard time letting things go because it's like, oh, but this has potential. So try to avoid that. But one of your hidden talents is building people up, building things up, and really just being a practical person. And also with the wind spirit, a lot of you are great communicators as well. You may have a beautiful voice. Whether that's a nice, beautiful accent or singing voice or something like that, or even just the word choice, you speak like poetry, unlike me. You speak like poetry. I love it. Okay, so let's shuffle up the tarot. We're going to get 4 cards just to further clarify these messages. We have the Green Man in reverse. This is the Emperor in reverse. So very connected to the building spirit, the beaver spirit. The Emperor is somebody who takes a lot of action in life. You may have a hard time sitting still, actually. That's what I'm seeing. A lot of you guys, you always like to be working on something. You always like to putz around and do your thing. So make sure you are making time for rest and rejuvenation every once in a while is what I would recommend. But let's see. You're definitely a visionary. I think oftentimes in a room full of people, you're sort of a natural leader at times. Other times you might be on the shy side, but like a lot of the time you're a natural leader, or like you're the one who has the solutions. We have the Ancestor in reverse, which is actually the next card. This is the Hierophant in reverse, which is actually a very positive card in reverse because it shows, again, you're not afraid to march to the beat of your own drum. You're very unique. You're very innovative. And you probably, especially with the Struck card as well, have a life that is very different from what societal norms and expectations would tell you to do and tell you how to live. And you're confident in that. You strut your stuff, which is very beautiful. We have the Queen of Stones with Bear. Stunning. I just really feel like a lot of you guys probably have amazing relationships in your life. And with the Beaver as well, I feel like you have a knack for making money, a knack for having a physically prosperous life, okay? Even if you don't have that much money, like you live a wealthy experience. I remember when I was like in deep poverty, a lot of people thought I had a lot more money than I had because I was immaculate at finding travel deals and like dressing in a way that looked wealthier, and all of my clothes were thrifted or gifted. Like literally I spent no money on clothes, and yet like, I had that knack for living a luxurious life even without a lot of money. And I did a lot of bartering, I did a lot of foraging, things like that. And I feel like a lot of you guys are quite similar in the sense that like you're wealthy and you understand the magic of true wealth. And it's not just having a lot of money, it's also having health, it's also having good relationships and that well-rounded physical experience, that physical expression of your spirit. And then look at that, we have the King of Vessels as well. You guys are so mature. And this is the Heron spirit. You guys are very mature. King of Vessels is peak emotional maturity, having strong boundaries, knowing that you have a lot to offer and you're not just gonna, give your stuff away to anybody. You may have had to learn the hard way in the past not to give yourself, your beauty, your magic, your efforts away to anybody, because I feel like you spoil the people that you love. Absolutely. Like you're an amazing host or hostess. You are an amazing friend and you know it. Like you're an amazing partner. You know it. And, I feel like you had to learn how to set healthy boundaries there because your emotional depth is just amazing and you empathize like no other. Like you really have a strong sense of empathy for the people around you, a strong sense of compassion, and you're extremely generous, but you know that your generosity has limits, which I think is amazing. You're not a people pleaser. You're not walking all over people either. And, just having that balance, I think, is a hidden talent in and of itself. And also the King of Vessels just doubles down on that message of you guys being very spiritually gifted as well, and having that psychic sense of intuition, almost like a telepathy. So it's very amazing. You make people feel very at home. You have a comforting vibe. Like even when you meet strangers, they may constantly tell you, like, you just feel familiar. Like, I feel comfortable around you. I feel safe around you. And that's the thing. People's nervous systems, they know when somebody is a safe and good person. They know when somebody is not going to screw them over, you know? So that's why so many people may tell you, like, I feel so comfortable around you. I feel like I've known you forever. Or like you just have a good vibe about you. That's a superpower. Literally just being a good person. In this world, hey, that's a superpower. So that's a hidden talent. Making people feel very at ease, very comfortable. It's like, you know, the right words to say. You know what makes people feel trusted and good about themselves, which is amazing. And you just love building people up and helping assist people to become their greatest versions. Absolutely. So thank you so much for joining me. Definitely subscribe if you've not already, and comment how this reading resonated down below. Like this video, and if you want a personal reading with me one-on-one, the link to that is always in the description box, spiritpsychic.org. I also offer my intention oils there, shamanic life coaching sessions there, as well as my online tarot reading course, so check it out. Bye-bye.